Hi, and welcome to Witch Hat Atelier episode 4. Last week we had an interesting episode where Coco went through an exam, the Dada Range exam, which was very interesting and something that I faintly remember from the manga. Um, Coco successfully caught or grabbed that bulby flower on top of one of those floating orb planet thingies on that range. She turned a boat into uh, paraglider, I guess, in a sense. I mean, the boat broke and then it turned into a paraglider, so it wasn't really her plan, but she successfully flew with it because her boots that she got were that symbol was in the middle was completely washed away or cleaned off by her with the when she fell into that little pond or little sea. Um, Very interesting episode. I mean, we saw it was heavily focused on that range, while in the background we saw a few scenes of the side characters. We saw what's her name? Agot, who was the reason why Coco was sent into that place without even having to. No matter what Agot said, that oh yeah, you have to do it, and if you fail, you won't be able. I believe Agot was a little bit not jealous, but mad to see another apprentice join the group who doesn't fully deserve to be a witch yet, if that makes sense. So either way, I'm really surprised. I'm really excited to see how it's going to continue because I have no idea what's coming next. Um, One thing I forgot to talk about last time, I believe, I have noted it down here, but I probably skipped it. One of my questions in the world of Witch Hat Atelier, we know how spells work. As soon as you draw the full circle, the spell activates. What if I think I've mentioned it shortly while I was watching the episode. What happens if it's a spell that goes out of control? Like fire could be finite because the paper you drew on it or the sign that you drew might get destroyed by the fire that you summoned. But what if it's something different, like I don't know, water? Uh, if the water doesn't really wash away the ink of the sign that you drew, what's the limits of signs? Can there be infinite water? Can we drown an entire village just by drawing a simple, tiny little water drop magic spell? I know it's just a drop in a drop, but after many, many years, it'll be an entire ocean where the whole village was. That's one thing I kind of wish, or I hope that the world building phase will explain. Like, what are some exceptions to some spells? Maybe there's some rules, some hidden rules that spells only stay activated for a certain amount of time. Either way, it's just something that's been on the back of my mind, something that I'm curious about. My predictions for this episode are probably going to be more focused on Agot, since we saw that she didn't really accept or apologize to Coco for successfully doing the data range test. So I assume we're going to see some scolding, maybe some snarking. Snarking, is that even a word? Um, some remarks from her and from the teacher. Uh, we'll see. I'm completely blind from here on out, so I have my episode ready in front of me. Feel free to get yours ready because I'm gonna count down in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay. Okay, we get to know more about spells. Beautifully drawn. The primary. So it's the four spells, the four elements that they chose to prioritize in this world of magic. So let me put my microphone closer. She did it. Well, she didn't really. Could be. Are we going to shop? Also got brush body. Okay, so we get to see how a shop looks like. Oh my god. I wonder if she's gonna fall prey, as I said last episode, fall prey to the evil witch who sold the book to Coco. Willingly or not. Beautiful scene. Always. Also, minor detail, but she was floating before like this, with her feet up, so not sure how that works. Hmm. Never good to split up. I believe in them. They're gonna get closer for sure. Hmm. Well, don't. Good, good, good. Is it big? Probably. Yeah. Hmm. God, the height difference I just realized. Ta. Oh, are the pens carved from the tree? Oh, that's not ominous. Or is the ink made out of the? The ink is made out of this tree. Hmm. Interesting. Oh. So it can be turned into wands. Okay. Really love the detail that it touches the metal thing. How will she find it though? Oh. Oh no. She's gone. To Coco? I guess she really wants to find a person who is responsible for the death, not really death, but like the imprisonment of her mom. Hmm. Yeah, bring her with us. This is bait, a trap. The fuck? They're so close though. They can see that she's following someone, no? Oh, come on. And they're gone. It was a trap. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Don't panic. She didn't turn herself into a monster, no? No, okay. Well then. That's a wyvern? Dragon? So he did saw it. Ah. Should you be running though? Jeez. Okay. See, this is what I meant. They can prepare drawings by just finishing it in an instant, but how does it end? That's not good. Oh. Hmm. They're slowly turning on her. Or are they just instinctively turning on her? Sending like a distraction? Yes. Oh. No, I got. She's losing it. Let her explain. There's something against the wall in the back. Hmm. Yeah, that kind of hit hard. Go on. I mean, no one wants to listen to her when she clearly wants to help them. Hmm. Oh yeah, this little buddy will help. Follow it. It's the end! Oh my god. I went by in a flash again. I'm just writing stuff to talk about. Hmm. The Dragon's Labyrinth. I guess we'll continue next week with this little segment, little arc, um, of the brimmed hat witch. I will need some minutes. I wrote a few things to talk about, but I do want to write a little bit more, so give me a second. I will be right back. Starting off, what an unfortunate turn of events for Coco. She just finished the tutorial, the a little exam, and instantly gets teleported into a place where it's a labyrinth with not a dragon. I think I have to rewatch that one scene. I'm pretty sure that's a wyvern. I just need to see the legs. Give me 1 second. Does this creature? Yes, it has front legs, so it is a dragon. A wyvern. The difference between a dragon and a worm, and the dragon, worm, lindworm, drake, and wyvern. Dragon and wyvern. Dragon is like has legs and wings, 4 legs and wings. A wyvern is more like a bird, where the front legs are the wings and the back legs are the back legs. A dragon-looking beast without wings is a worm, without legs as well. But if it has legs, only front legs, it's a lindworm. And I believe if it has no wings, but it has 4 legs, that's a drake. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's from what I remember of video games and all that. I'm currently also playing The Witcher 3 again, which coincidentally has a lot of beasts in the game and the bestiary. That's what I know, but I might be wrong, so take that with a grain of salt. Yeah, she gets teleported into that crazy place, which we don't know where it is. I assume it's a non-existent place, dimension, location, and they have to find a way out of that. Maybe. No, they have to be teleported away. They can't be hallucinating this. They can't be just on the floor dreaming all of this, I assume, because that'd be too obvious, I guess. We've seen the group trying to find for them, and they couldn't find anything. Trying to search for the kids. Uh, Very unfortunate. So one thing I also wanted to mention is the moment they blast that hole in the wall, Agot says a line in Japanese, and it. I wrote down. I made a line here with the timer so I could go back to it. And she says, "Koko kara hanaremashu, masho, mashu, masho,"
おいでここから離れましょう。
which means let's get out of it. Let's get away from here. Let's get out of this place. But in Japanese, it has a double meaning. At first, I thought, why is she saying "koko" and the subtitle says "let's get out of here"? But technically, that's what it means. But it could also mean let's get away from Coco, which in that moment, I believe is its intended side meaning, not the main meaning. The main meaning is let's get away from this place. But I believe that Agot clearly also meant let's get away from Coco. Hence the Koko kara hanaremasho. Very interesting. Very, if it's on purpose, very clever line to say for Agot. What else did I write? I wrote that yeah, the brimmed hat witch is apparently like a cult. I don't have a clear idea yet of what exactly it is. If it's just one person taking the place of the previous one, like some sort of avatar type of thing. But if it's a group, then they all have these huge brimmed hats and while hiding their face. And I mean, on one hand, yes, it looks kind of cool, not gonna lie. And if I remember correctly, my guild in Final Fantasy XIV told me that the bigger your hat as a wizard, the stronger you are. So apparently they are all strong in this type of sense. But I'm surprised to see if I'm curious to see if there's more than one brimmed hat witch, because this could clearly be the exact same that sold the book. And I think it is because we got confirmation last episode that we heard the witch mention Coco's name. So she's been following Coco. If it's just her, that's better, but not looking forward to it because presumably it's a very strong witch, very strong magician, considering they can spawn this beast and labyrinth out of nowhere. Maybe it's a real place and they just got teleported, but even that's crazy. Completely blind here. I'll let myself be surprised. What else did I write? Coco. We talk about that. The elements. Very interesting compared to episode 2, where they introduced us the four elements: fire, light, fire, light, water, and was it wind? I think it was wind. And in this episode here, they introduced us the four core elements, which is fire, earth, the one I was wondering why they didn't even pick earth, fire, earth, water, and levitation. Why not pick air? Maybe for its own reasons, I don't know, but really interesting pick. In the first one, it was light that was really weird, but in this one, it's levitation. Now, if levitation is just another word for wind effects, then that makes sense. But I do think that the way elements work in this world is different than people think it is, because we saw that I wanted to talk about this, but they were talking at the same time. Earth is not technically spawning rocks or modifying the ground into what we know from Avatar, for example, the Lost Airbender. But it's more like transformation of existing materia. So as we saw, they drew those signs against the wall, the solid rock wall. I assume it's rock, and they turned it into sand. That's what I understand that element to mean. Fire is fire, water is water. I think the other one was wind. No, what am I saying? Wind is the one that's not in the course. So it's fire is fire, water is water. Earth is the change of elements, rock into sand, for example, and then levitation. Levitation, we saw what they have under their feet. Under their shoes. So I thought at first that was part of the wind element, but apparently not, unless they consider levitation and wind, the same thing. I'm probably gonna do some research on that, trying to ask some people that I know so that I don't get spoiled on the internet. But I'd be surprised if they completely disregard wind in that regard. I just have to rewatch that scene as well, because maybe they explain that different regions have different elements, different rules. I don't know. That could be a possibility. Different schools teach different elements or something like that. Now, one thing we learned in this episode was how ink and wands are made. The moment I saw that tree, I wanted to say, I'm sure that's how they make wands. Um, I just didn't because, again, they were talking at the same time. But they showed the ink, so apparently there's branches that become dark when they die, and that's toxic to humans and the tree itself. So they cut that off and they turn it into ink. But at the same time, I assume they can turn the wood into wands. We haven't really seen that yet, other than the what was his name? Tom Tom? No, not Tom Tom. The apprentice from the guy who owns the store. Let me just check the name. Tarta, not Tamta. Tarta. Who was carving a wand with a knife. So what's the middle step? I don't know. I assume branch from the tree and they start chipping away to make a pen or something like that. We'll see. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be a big thing in the following few episodes, because Coco still doesn't have her wand yet. She has to have. She's wandless currently, unless she still has her old wand. But she said that she can't really draw well with that. I assume my prediction for the next episode or two, Coco will be split again, because that's what the witch wants. She somehow wants to be in contact with Coco, but we don't know exactly why. I mean, on one hand, yeah, she wants probably Coco to be part of the Brimtat Witch or something like that, um, blackmailing her or promising her things that doesn't exist, like, oh, don't worry about your mom, we'll save her, but do us a favor and something like that. And knowing Coco, how desperate she is for her mom, she might even fall for it. Now, I got us back into the group of girls. She might be the one who falls for it. So I don't know. Again, we'll see what happens. Those are the things that I wrote down. I don't think I missed anything. There's clearly a few screenshots that I'm gonna put here, so as I talk, you can see. I love that we learn more about elements and symbols. I love the combinations and the deeper meanings of it. Um, and I also like that we learn more about the other characters. So all in all, it was a great episode. I also loved, I forgot to say that when they reached the city with all the witches, how colorful they were. Because I was expecting everyone to have the same uniforms, like those green ones. And I'm glad I'm wrong. So they're all different. It's I was expecting them to be all more secret, more hidden, scared to show themselves, but no, it's like a city, like a village, like any other village. Probably not a village, a pretty big city. Uh, yeah, yeah. Skimming through the episodes, we've seen the whole thing. Uh, dragon, dragon. Yes, again, confirmation. 4 legs, wings, and a tail. That's a dragon. Good. All right. Good episode. I'm gonna end this here. I will edit this and then you'll be able to watch it. So thank you for watching again, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.